I never imagined my own father would be the one to chain me, but here I stand on the auction platform with silver burning my wrists, while alphas bid on me like I'm livestock. The metal sears into my skin, a constant reminder that I'm prey now. Not a daughter, not even a wolf with rights, just merchandise. Lot 17, the auctioneer announces, his voice echoing through the warehouse. Unbonded Omega, fertile, 23 years old, no visible defects. My stomach lurches. Around me, dozens of alphas lean forward in their seats, eyes gleaming with interest or disgust. I can't tell which is worse. The air reeks of sweat, greed, and something else. Desperation, maybe. Or maybe that's just me. Starting bid, 5,000. 5,000. That's what I'm worth. Less than my father's poker debt at the den last month. A hand shoots up near the back. Then another. The bids climb fast. 8, 10, 15,000. I keep my eyes on the floor, on the water-stained concrete beneath my bare feet. If I look up, if I meet any of their eyes, I'll break. And I can't afford to break. Not here. 20,000! Someone shouts. My breath catches. 20,000 is more than most Omegas go for in these places. I risk a glance up and immediately wish I hadn't. The bidder is massive, even for an alpha. Scars crisscross his face like a roadmap of violence, and when he grins, I see teeth filed to points. That's Craven, the girl beside me whispers. She's next in line, trembling so hard her chains rattle. I heard he killed his last Omega when she couldn't give him pups. My knees threaten to give out. 25, another voice calls, but Craven snarls, and the bidder backs down. The auctioneer raises his gavel. 20,000 going once, going twice. The warehouse doors slam open. The sound cracks through the space like thunder. Every head turns. Every voice falls silent. Even the auctioneer freezes mid-swing. A man strides through the entrance, and the temperature in the room drops 10 degrees. He's tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in black that seems to absorb the dim light. Dark hair falls across his forehead, but it's his eyes that steal my breath, ice blue and utterly merciless. Power radiates from him like heat from a furnace. Primal, ancient, absolute. My wolf, dormant since the moment my father's men dragged me from our den, suddenly stirs. She doesn't whimper in fear. She doesn't cower. She goes perfectly, terrifyingly still. Alpha. Not just any alpha. The alpha. Demon Blackthorn, someone breathes. The Alpha King. Whispers ripple through the crowd, but no one dares speak above a murmur. Craven, who looked ready to murder anyone who challenged him moments ago, shrinks back in his seat. Demon walks forward, his stride unhurried, deliberate. He doesn't look at the other alphas, doesn't acknowledge the auctioneer's stuttered greeting. His gaze finds mine and holds it. I should look away. Every instinct screams at me to lower my eyes, to submit, but I can't. Those ice-blue eyes pin me in place, searching for something. What? I don't know. He stops at the base of the platform, close enough that I can see the sharp cut of his jaw, the cruel curve of his mouth. Close enough that his scent, pine and smoke and winter nights, wraps around me. How much? His voice is quiet, but it carries. The auctioneer swallows hard. The current bid is 20,000, Your Majesty, but 200,000. The warehouse erupts. Gasps, shouts, the scrape of chairs as people surge to their feet. The girl beside me makes a choked sound. 200,000, for me. That's, Your Majesty, that's very generous, but perhaps... Demon's gaze finally shifts from me to the auctioneer. He doesn't speak, doesn't need to. The auctioneer goes pale. Sold! The gavel comes down so fast it nearly splinters. Lot 17 sold to His Majesty King Demon Blackthorn. My chains are removed by trembling hands. The silver leaves angry red welts on my wrists, but I barely feel them. All I feel is the weight of Demon's stare as he waits, patient as death itself. Come, he says. It's not a request. My legs move on their own, carrying me down the platform steps. I'm vaguely aware of the crowd parting, of Craven's furious glare, of the auctioneer counting out bills with shaking fingers. But mostly I'm aware of him, of the Alpha King standing between me and every other predator in this room. He doesn't touch me, doesn't grab my arm or drag me like I expected. He simply turns and walks toward the exit, and I follow. Because what choice do I have? Outside, the night air hits my face like a slap. I drag in great gulps of it, trying to clear my head, but it doesn't help. Nothing helps. An hour ago, I was in my den, packing for the teaching position I'd accepted at the Omega School 2 towns over. Then my father came in with 2 enforcers, told me he was sorry, that he'd made mistakes, that this was the only way to make it right. I thought he meant turning himself in for his debts. I was wrong. A sleek black car waits at the curb, engine purring. Demon opens the back door, stands aside. Still doesn't touch me. Get in. I don't move. Can't. My voice comes out smaller than I'd like. Why? His expression doesn't change. Get in the car, Sarah. He knows my name. Of course he does. He probably knows everything about me. How much I weigh. When I had my first heat. That I spent 3 years studying child development because I wanted to help young Omegas learn their worth. Some good that did me. Please. The word tastes like ashes. Just tell me why. You're the Alpha King. You could have any wolf you wanted. Why would you pay $200,000 for a nobody Omega from a backwater pack? For a moment, something flickers in those cold eyes. Not warmth. Exactly. More like recognition. Like he sees something in me that surprises him. Then it's gone. Because you're not for pleasure, he says flatly. You're for survival. Mine, and possibly the realm's. Now get in. My blood turns to ice. What does that mean? It means your father sold you to settle a debt, and I bought you to prevent a war. He tilts his head slightly. We can discuss the details on the way to Blackthorn Keep, or I can have my men sedate you and load you in the trunk. Your choice. The calm delivery makes it worse somehow. He's not threatening me. He's stating facts. I look back at the warehouse, at the dingy building where my life as I knew it ended. I think about my father, counting whatever blood money Demon paid for me, about Craven's filed teeth, about all the ways this night could have gone worse. And I get in the car. Demon slides in beside me. The door closes with a decisive click, sealing me in with him. The driver pulls away from the curb without a word, and the warehouse disappears behind us. I press myself against the opposite door, putting as much space as possible between us. It's not much. The car is spacious, luxurious even, but Demon seems to fill it. His presence is suffocating. You said something about preventing a war, I manage. I did. That doesn't explain anything. No, he agrees. It doesn't. Silence falls, thick and heavy. I can feel him watching me, studying me like I'm a puzzle he's trying to solve. It makes my skin crawl. Outside, the city gives way to forest, dark trees pressing close to the road. The silver burns will heal, he says finally. My physician will see to them when we arrive. I don't care about the burns. You should. Infection can be, I don't care. The words burst out before I can stop them. You bought me. You paid $200,000 for me like I'm a thing, and you won't even tell me why. So forgive me if I'm not worried about a few burns. His jaw tightens. It's the first real reaction I've gotten from him. You want the truth? Yes. Fine. He shifts, angling toward me. 3 weeks ago, the Northern Packs formed an alliance. They're planning to march on the capital by the winter solstice. They have the numbers, the weapons, and enough anger to level Blackthorn Keep and everything around it. My breath catches. Why? Because I killed their Alpha King in the challenge 3 years ago. Because I unified the Packs under one rule when they wanted independence. Because I'm a tyrant, depending on who you ask. He says it without emotion, like he's discussing the weather. They want my head, but they'll settle for my throne. I still don't understand what this has to do with me. Demon leans forward, and suddenly there's nowhere to hide from those ice-blue eyes. The Northern Alliance is held together by one thing, a prophecy. An old seer's vision that says the king who mates with the wolf of ash and moonlight will unite all packs under his rule for 1,000 years. Unbreakable, unchallengeable. His gaze drops to my hair, pale blonde almost to the point of silver. You match the description perfectly, and every alpha in the realm knows it, including Craven. If he'd won you tonight, he'd have mated you, claimed the prophecy, and marched his army straight to my gates. The world tilts. That's insane, I whisper. Prophecies aren't, they're just stories. Perhaps, but stories have power when enough people believe them. He sits back. So yes, I bought you. And yes, I'll use you. The Northern Alliance needs to believe their prophecy has already been fulfilled. By me. That means you'll live at Blackthorn Keep as my intended mate. You'll be seen at my side. And when the time comes, no! I shake my head violently. No, I won't do it. I won't be your political pawn. You don't have a choice. There's always a choice. Then make it. His voice drops to something dark and final. You can play the role of my mate and live in comfort at the keep. Or I can return you to that warehouse, and you can see if Craven is still interested. Though I suspect after my interference tonight he'd be more interested in making you suffer than anything else. My throat closes. He's right. God help me, he's right. There's no going home, no teaching position, no future except the ones being offered by men who see me as a means to an end. At least Demon is honest about it. This prophecy, I say slowly. What happens after? After you've used me to stop the Alliance? Something flickers across his face again. That same recognition. That same surprise. I don't know, he admits, but I suspect we're both about to find out. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 2. Blackthorn. Keep rises from the mountainside like a blade thrust into the earth. Even in darkness it's imposing, all sharp angles and black stone that seems to swallow moonlight rather than reflect it. Towers claw at the sky. Walls thick enough to withstand siege engines stand sentinel over a valley that drops away into shadow. It's beautiful in the way a weapon is beautiful. Deadly and precise. The car winds up the mountain road, and my stomach winds with it. Every turn brings us closer to whatever fate waits inside those obsidian walls. Demon hasn't spoken since his revelation about the prophecy. He sits perfectly still, staring out the window like he's memorizing the landscape, or saying goodbye to it. The thought unsettles me more than it should. We pass through gates that groan open at our approach. Then into a courtyard lit by torches that cast dancing shadows across the stone. Guards in black uniforms snap to attention as Demon emerges from the car. He doesn't acknowledge them, just walks toward the main entrance, clearly expecting me to follow. I do, because what choice do I have? The inside of the keep is just as severe as the outside. Stone floors polished to a dark gleam. Tapestries depicting battles and bloodshed. Sparse furniture that looks functional rather than comfortable. Everything about this place screams power and dominance. Nothing whispers warmth or home. My bare feet make no sound on the cold floor. I'm acutely aware of how I must look. Hair tangled, wearing the thin dress they put me in for the auction, silver burns angry on my wrists. A purchased Omega being delivered to her new owner. The thought makes my wolf snarl, but she's still too weak to do more than that. Your Majesty. A man materializes from a side corridor, falling into step beside Demon. He's tall, built like a fighter, with sandy hair and sharp green eyes that assess me in a single sweep. His expression curdles into something between disgust and disappointment. I see the rumors are true. Another Omega. Marcus. Demon's tone holds a warning. With respect, sire, how many chances are you going to waste on this fool's errand? Marcus doesn't look at me again, like I'm beneath his notice. The curse has claimed stronger wolves than her. What makes you think that's enough? The command cracks through the hall like a whip. Marcus's jaw clenches, but he bows his head. Barely. As you wish. But the Northern Alliance won't wait forever. If you're planning to use the prophecy as leverage, we need to act fast, which means, I said enough. Demon stops walking, turns to face his beta fully. You forget yourself, Marcus. I don't answer to you. I don't explain myself to you. You serve at my pleasure, and right now, you're testing the limits of that pleasure. The temperature drops. I watch Marcus's throat work as he swallows whatever response he'd been about to make. Around us, servants and guards suddenly find urgent business elsewhere. Forgive me, Your Majesty. Marcus's voice is carefully neutral now. I only have the realm's best interests at heart. Of course you do. Demon's tone suggests he believes otherwise. Now make yourself useful. Find Alara and tell her I need her in my chambers, immediately. Marcus shoots me one more contemptuous look, then disappears down a side passage. Your beta seems to think highly of me, I mutter. Marcus thinks highly of very few people. Don't take it personally. Demon resumes walking, leading me up a wide stone staircase. Though he's right about one thing, time is running out. For the Northern Alliance. No. He pauses at a landing, and for a moment something flickers across his face. Pain, maybe, or exhaustion so deep it's carved grooves around his eyes. For me. Before I can ask what he means, he's moving again, down a corridor lined with portraits of stern-faced wolves. Former kings and queens, I assume. They all have the same ice-blue eyes as Demon, the same unforgiving set to their mouths. We reach a door at the end of the hall. Demon pushes it open, gestures for me to enter. The room beyond is surprisingly spacious. A large bed dominates one wall, covered in dark furs. A fireplace crackles on the opposite side, throwing warm light across bookshelves and a desk littered with maps and correspondence. Windows overlook the valley, though right now they only show darkness and stars. These will be your quarters, Demon says. I turn to face him. Not yours? No. He moves to the fireplace, adds another log. The flames jump higher. Despite what you might think, I'm not planning to claim you tonight. Or any night, unless you choose it. Choose. The word tastes bitter. Like I chose to be sold? Like I chose to be bought by you? His shoulders tense. No, not like that. Then what? A knock interrupts me. A woman enters without waiting for permission, carrying a leather bag that looks like a physician's kit. She's older, maybe 60. With silver streaking through her dark hair and kind eyes that crinkle at the corners when she sees me. So, this is the girl, she says, her voice warm where everyone else's has been cold. Come here, child. Let me see those wrists. I glance at Demon, who nods. Slowly I approach the woman. Alara, I assume. She takes my hands in hers, gentle despite her firm grip, and examines the burns. Not terrible, but they'll scar if we don't treat them properly. She opens her bag, pulls out jars of salve and clean bandages. What's your name, dear? Sarah. Well, Sarah, I'm Alara. I've been the Keep's healer for 30 years, which means I've seen just about everything. Silver burns are nasty business, but we'll have you fixed up. She begins applying the salve, and the relief is immediate. The burning sensation fades to a dull ache. There now. Better? Yes, thank you. Don't thank me yet. You're in for an interesting time here. She cuts a look at Demon. You planning to tell her, or am I? Tell me what? I ask. Demon moves to the windows, stands with his back to us. The firelight casts his shadow long across the floor. When he speaks, his voice is carefully controlled. Too controlled. The curse Marcus mentioned isn't a metaphor. My hand still in Alara's grip. What? My great-grandmother betrayed a witch, he continues, still not turning. stole something precious from her. The witch cursed our bloodline in revenge. Every firstborn male dies before his 35th year. My father, his father, all of them. He pauses. I turn 35 in 3 months. The room tilts. I look at Alara, hoping she'll contradict him, but her expression is grave. It's true, she says softly. I watched his father waste away, watched his grandfather before that. The curse eats them from the inside, slowly, painfully. By the end, she trails off, shaking her head. There's a cure, Demon says. One cure, a true mate bond with an unclaimed Omega of pure heart. The bond must be genuine, born of trust, connection, maybe even love. Not force, not coercion. It has to be real. Understanding crashes over me. That's why you bought me. Not for the prophecy, for this. The prophecy is useful leverage against the Northern Alliance. But yes, the curse is the real reason. Finally, he turns to face me. In the firelight, I can see it now. The shadows under his eyes, the tightness around his mouth, the way he holds himself like every movement costs him. I've tried before. Brought Omegas here. Hoping one would be compatible. All of them failed. Failed how? Alara finishes wrapping my wrists, pats my hand. The curse recognizes deception, dear. If the bond isn't genuine, if the Omega is only pretending, or if she's already been claimed by another, or if her heart isn't pure, it rejects them. Violently. The last girl. She glances at Demon. Nearly died, he finishes. I won't let that happen again. I pull my hands away from Alara, take a step back. My mind is racing, trying to process all of this. So you're dying, and you think I can save you? I think you're my last option. His ice blue eyes meet mine. You match the seer's description from the prophecy, which suggests fate has a hand in this. You're unclaimed. I verified that before the auction. And there's something about you. He trails off, frowning. What? I don't know yet. But when I saw you on that platform, when our eyes met, I felt something. A pull. Recognition, maybe. Like my wolf knew yours. He shakes his head, like he's embarrassed by the admission. It's not much to go on, but it's more than I've felt with anyone else. My heart pounds. I felt it too. That moment when our gazes locked and everything else fell away. I'd thought it was fear, but maybe it was something else. And if I say no? I ask quietly. If I refuse to help you? Then I die in 3 months, and the Northern Alliance tears the realm apart fighting over who gets to rule the Ashes. He says it matter-of-factly, like he's already accepted his fate. Marcus will probably try to take the throne. Lyanna, my sister, will fight him for it. Blood will run in rivers. That's not fair, I whisper. You can't put that on me. I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. He crosses to stand in front of me, close enough that I have to tilt my head back to maintain eye contact. You have 3 months, Sarah. 3 months to decide if you can stand to save a male who bought you. 3 months to see if what I felt between us was real or just desperate imagination. And at the end of that time, if you choose to walk away, I'll let you go. I'll give you enough money to start over wherever you want, and I'll face the curse alone. You're lying. I've done many terrible things in my life, but I don't lie. He raises his hand slowly, giving me time to pull away, and brushes a strand of hair from my face. His fingers are warm despite the coldness in his eyes. I need you, Sarah. The realm needs you. But I won't force a bond. It wouldn't work anyway. So I'm asking, will you try? Before I can answer, the door slams open. A woman storms in, all dark hair and flashing eyes and barely contained fury. She's beautiful in a sharp-edged way, dressed in fighting leathers that emphasize a warrior's build. When she sees me, her lip curls. So it's true, you actually brought another one of them here. She stalks forward, ignoring Alara's warning look. How much did you pay for this one, brother? Or did you find her in a gutter somewhere? Lyanna. Demon's voice is ice. Leave, now. Why? So you can fill her head with fairy tales about true love-breaking curses? Lyanna circles me like a predator sizing up prey. Let me save you some time, Omega. My brother is dying. Nothing can stop it. Not you, not anyone. The sooner you accept that and stop giving him false hope, the better for everyone. That's enough. Demon moves between us, his presence a wall. Get out of her quarters. Now. Her quarters? You gave the purchased pet her own quarters? Lyanna laughs, but there's no humor in it. You're pathetic. Father would be ashamed. Father is dead, because of the curse, which is why I'm trying to break it. By pinning all your hopes on Omega after Omega, each one more disappointing than the last. Lyanna's eyes glitter with something that might be tears or might be rage. Do you know what the court calls you behind your back? The desperate king? The alpha who begs? You're making us look weak, and weakness is something we cannot afford. Not now. Not with the Northern Alliance breathing down our necks. I'm aware of the political situation. Are you? Because from where I stand, it looks like you're too busy playing house with your newest acquisition to care that we're on the brink of war. Lyanna turns her attention back to me. Enjoy your stay here, Omega. I give you a week before you run crying back to wherever you came from. They always do. She sweeps out, leaving a wake of tension behind her. Elara sighs. She didn't used to be like that. Before the curse started showing symptoms, she and Demon were close. But watching him deteriorate... She picks up her bag. I'll leave you to rest, Sarah. If you need anything, pull the cord by the bed. Someone will come. Then she's gone too, and it's just Demon and me. He stands with his back to me, shoulders rigid. I apologize for my sister. She's angry at the situation, not at you. She called me a purchased pet. Yes, well, that's not entirely inaccurate, is it? He sounds tired. So tired. You should rest. Tomorrow will be difficult. The court will want to meet you. Marcus will find ways to undermine you. Lyanna will make snide comments. And He trails off. You what? I need to figure out how to make this work. How to build genuine connection with someone who has every reason to hate me. He finally turns, and the naked vulnerability in his expression steals my breath. I don't know how to do that, Sarah. I've been a king my whole life. Kings don't connect. They command. Then maybe you need to stop being a king for a while, I say before I can stop myself. At least around me. Something flickers in those ice-blue eyes. Surprise. Maybe. Or hope. I'll try, he says quietly. Then he moves toward the door. Sleep well. And Sarah, lock this behind me. Not everyone in the keep is trustworthy. He leaves, and I'm alone. I turn the lock, then lean against the door, heart racing. My wrists throb despite Elara's salve. My feet ache from the cold stone floors. My entire world has been turned inside out in the span of a few hours. Sold, bought, brought to a fortress made of obsidian and secrets. Asked to save a dying king who I should hate but who looked at me with something that might have been genuine need. I should run. Should find a window, scale down the wall, and disappear into the forest below. I survived the Omega School. I survived my father's betrayal. I can survive this. But something keeps me rooted in place. That pull I felt when Demon and I locked eyes. The way my wolf stirred when he entered the auction house. The exhaustion in his voice when he said, I don't know how to do that. Against every scrap of logic, against every instinct for self-preservation, I believe him. I believe he's dying. I believe he won't force me. I believe that underneath the ruthless Alpha King exterior, there's something else. Something human. Or maybe I'm a fool. I push away from the door, move to the windows. From this height, I can see the valley spread out below, dark and endless. Somewhere out there, my father is probably celebrating his windfall. Somewhere out there, Craven is plotting revenge for being outbid. Somewhere out there, the Northern Alliance is preparing for war. And here I stand, one Omega who couldn't even stop her own father from betraying her. One Omega who's supposed to save a king and prevent a realm from tearing itself apart. The absurdity of it almost makes me laugh. Instead, I close my eyes and reach for my wolf. She's there, still weak but present. Still mine despite everything. "What do you think?" I ask her silently. "Should we stay or run?" She doesn't answer with words, but I feel her lean toward something, toward someone, toward the male with ice-blue eyes who smells like winter and speaks like he's forgotten how to hope. "You're insane," I tell her. She just settles deeper into my chest, content for the first time since the chains went on my wrists. I open my eyes, look out at the darkness, and make a decision I'll probably regret. 3 months. I'll give Demon 3 months. I'll try to break his curse, try to help him face the Northern Alliance, try to survive the viper's nest of a court he rules. And if I can't, if the bond doesn't form, if the curse takes him anyway, if everything falls apart, then at least I'll walk away knowing I tried, that I was more than the sum of my father's debts, more than a purchased Omega on an auction block. I'll be someone who fought, even if I'm not sure what I'm fighting for yet. I turn from the window, move toward the bed. The furs are softer than anything I've owned in years. I crawl under them, exhausted down to my bones, and let my eyes close. Sleep comes fast. But it doesn't bring peace. Instead, it brings visions. I'm standing in a great hall, but I'm not me. I'm taller, stronger, male, alpha. I look down at my hands and see Demon's hands, scarred knuckles, a signet ring bearing the blackthorn crest. "You're making a mistake," a voice says. I turn. A man stands nearby, older than me, with the same ice-blue eyes but gray threading his dark hair. My father, I somehow know. The previous Alpha King. "I have to do this," I hear myself say with Demon's voice. "The Northern Pacts are fracturing. If I don't challenge their king, if I don't unify them by force, we'll have a dozen small wars instead of one decisive battle. And you'll make enemies for life. I'm already the enemy. At least this way I control the narrative." Demon's hands, my hands, clench into fists. This is the only path forward. The scene shifts, blurs. Now I'm in a fighting ring, facing a massive alpha with Nordic features and hate blazing in his eyes. The Northern Alpha King. "You think you can come here and take what's ours?" he snarls. "I think the realm needs one ruler, not 20. I circle him, every muscle coiled. "Yield, and I'll let you keep your lands. Fight, and I'll take everything." He lunges, we clash, blood spills. The fight is brutal, efficient, and ends with me standing over his broken body while his pack watches in stunned silence. "Who else?" I roar, searching the crowd. "Who else challenges me?" No one moves, but in their eyes I see it. Hatred, the kind that simmers for years, the kind that waits for opportunities, the kind that plans revenge. The vision fractures. I jolt awake, gasping. Moonlight streams through the windows. The fire has burned low. For a moment I'm disoriented, caught between the vision and reality. Then it settles. I'm in Blackthorn Keep, in Demon's Fortress, in a bed that's far too large and far too soft. But the vision, it felt real, not like a dream, like a memory, Demon's memory. How is that possible? I touch my chest, feel my heart racing. My wolf stirs, confused but not alarmed. She felt it too. That strange connection, that bleeding of experiences between me and the Alpha King who bought me. The curse, I think. It must be the curse. Some side effect of this magical bond we're supposed to form. But if I'm already seeing his memories, already feeling his presence even when he's not in the room, what does that mean? And more importantly, what else will I see before this is over? I lie back down, but sleep doesn't return. Instead, I watch the moonlight track across the floor and wonder what I've gotten myself into. 3 months, I remind myself. Just 3 months. It feels like a lifetime. It feels like nowhere near enough time. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting impactful daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 3. The visions come every night now. 3 days I've been at Blackthorn Keep, and 3 nights I've woken gasping, covered in sweat, with memories that aren't mine burning behind my eyes. Demon as a child, learning to fight. Demon watching his father waste away. Demon making impossible choices that earned him his reputation as the ruthless Alpha King. Each morning, I wake exhausted. Each morning, I wonder if I should tell him. I never do. Instead, I dress in the clothes that appear in my wardrobe. Simple but well made. Better than anything I owned before. And I prepare for another day of walking the knife's edge that is life at court. Today is different, though. Today is the first formal dinner. You'll sit at the king's right hand, Alara told me this morning while checking my wrists. The burns have healed to thin silver lines, barely noticeable. It's a position of honor. It also makes you a target. More of a target than I already am? She'd smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Just be careful what you eat, dear, and watch who pours your wine. Now, standing outside the dining hall in a dress of deep blue that someone selected for me, I understand what she meant. Through the doors I can hear voices, laughter, the clink of glasses, normal dinner party sounds, but nothing about this is normal. The doors open. A servant gestures for me to enter. The dining hall is massive, lit by 3 iron chandeliers that cast dancing shadows across stone walls. A long table dominates the center, already filled with wolves who stop talking the moment I appear. At the head sits Demon, dressed in black as always, his ice blue eyes finding mine immediately. He stands. Everyone else follows suit. "My honored guest," he says, his voice carrying. "Sarah of the Ashwood Pack." Former pack, I think bitterly. I have no pack now. Just a father who sold me and a king who bought me. But I lift my chin and walk forward. Every eye tracks my movement. I can feel their judgment, their curiosity, their contempt. Marcus sits halfway down the table, his expression carefully neutral. Leanna is beside him, her dark eyes promising violence. Demon pulls out the chair to his right. I sit, and the room exhales. Conversations resume, but they're quieter now, more careful. A servant appears with wine. I watch as he pours, remembering Alara's warning. The liquid is deep red, almost black in the candlelight. "It's safe," Demon murmurs, low enough that only I can hear. "I had it tested." "You test all your wine?" "I test everything you'll consume." His jaw tightens. After what happened to the last Omega, I'm not taking chances. The Omega who nearly died, the one he hasn't named. I want to ask more, but a woman across the table speaks up. "So tell us, Sarah," she says, her smile sharp. "What does an Omega from a backwater pack think of our fair keep? Must be quite different from whatever hovel you're used to." Silence falls. Everyone waits for my response. I could be meek, could lower my eyes and mumble something deferential. That's what they expect, what an Omega is supposed to do. But I'm so tired of being what I'm supposed to be. "It's certainly colder," I say pleasantly. "And darker, almost like whoever built it was trying to keep something out, or maybe keep something in." I take a sip of the wine. It's good, rich and smooth. But the company has been educational. The woman's smile freezes. Leanna snorts into her glass, and I catch what might be approval in her eyes. Might be. "Educational how?" Marcus asks. "I've learned that power and paranoia often go hand in hand. That strong walls don't always keep you safe. That sometimes the biggest threats come from inside, not outside." I set down my glass. "Tell me, Beta Marcus, in your experience, is it usually the enemy you can see who kills you? or the one you trust? His green eyes narrow. That sounds like a threat. That sounds like philosophy. Demon cuts in smoothly. And this is supposed to be a pleasant dinner. Perhaps we should discuss less morbid topics. But the damage is done. The table erupts into conversation. Some defensive, some amused, all of it charged with tension I created. I should feel guilty. Instead, I feel alive for the first time since the auction. The first course arrives. Roasted meat with herbs, vegetables that smell divine, bread still warm from the oven. My stomach growls. I haven't eaten much the past 3 days. Too nervous, too unsettled. But this looks and smells too good to resist. I reach for my fork. Demon's hand closes over mine. His touch is warm, firm. Wait, he says quietly. What? He picks up my plate, sets it aside, and signals a servant. Bring a fresh plate from the kitchen, directly from the pot, not from the serving dishes. The servant's eyes widen, but he obeys, hurrying away. Around the table, conversation falters again. Is there a problem, Your Majesty? Marcus asks. Just a precaution. Demon's tone brooks no argument. Continue your meal. They do, but the atmosphere has shifted. Now everyone is watching their food like it might bite back. When the servant returns with a fresh plate, Demon examines it himself before setting it in front of me. Eat, he says. I should argue, should tell him he's being paranoid. But the way his hand trembled slightly when he moved my original plate, the way his eyes keep darting to the servants, makes me think maybe paranoia is justified. I eat. The food is delicious and I'm starving, so I don't stop until my plate is clean. Around me, courses come and go. Wine flows. Conversations grow louder as people relax. Even Leanna seems less hostile, though she still watches me like I'm a puzzle she can't solve. Demon barely touches his food. He sips his wine, responds when spoken to, but mostly he watches the room. Watches me. Like he's waiting for something to go wrong. It doesn't. The dinner ends without incident. People begin to leave, heading to the drawing room for after-dinner drinks. I start to rise, but Demon's hand on my arm stops me. Stay, he says. Please. I sink back into my chair. Around us, the dining hall empties until it's just us and a few servants clearing plates. They work quickly, quietly, then disappear. You did well tonight, Demon says. I antagonized your beta and insulted your fortress. Exactly. The corner of his mouth twitches. It's not quite a smile, but it's close. Most Omegas who come here are terrified into silence. You bit back. Marcus needed that. He's been getting too comfortable questioning my decisions. Happy to help, I say dryly. Then, because curiosity is eating at me, why did you switch my plate? Did you actually see something wrong with it? His expression darkens. No, but I smelled something. Just a hint. Too faint to identify, but... He trails off, stands, and walks to where my original plate sits on a side table. He picks it up, sniffs it, and his entire body goes rigid. Get Alara, now! The command is directed at a servant I didn't realize was still there. The man runs. What is it? I ask, standing. Nightshade. Demon sets the plate down carefully like it's a weapon. Mixed with something else, something to mask the smell and delay the symptoms. He turns to me and his eyes are blazing. Someone just tried to kill you. The room spins. I grab the edge of the table for support. That's not possible. Who would... That's what I intend to find out. Alara bursts through the doors, her healer's bag in hand. Demon holds up the plate. Test this. I need to know exactly what was in it and how long before it would have killed her. Alara's face goes pale, but she nods. She produces vials and tools from her bag, scraping samples from the food. Her hands move with practiced efficiency, but I can see them shaking. This will take a few minutes, she says. Those minutes stretch like hours. Demon paces. A caged predator looking for something to tear apart. I sink back into my chair, trying to process. Someone poisoned my food. If Demon hadn't stopped me, hadn't trusted his instincts, I'd be dying right now, or already dead. Why? The word comes out smaller than I intended. I've been here 3 days. I haven't done anything, haven't threatened anyone. You exist, Demon says flatly. That's threat enough. If I bond with you, if you break the curse, the power structure changes. Marcus loses his position as heir presumptive. Lyanna loses her claim. Every alpha who hoped to pick up the pieces after I die suddenly has to contend with a living king. He stops pacing, looks at me. You're not just an Omega to them. You're an obstacle. Nightshade and Bella Root, Elara announces, her voice tight. Mixed in equal parts. Masked by the herb sauce. It would have taken about 30 minutes to work. First drowsiness, then paralysis, then... She doesn't finish. Then death, Demon finishes for her. His voice is ice, pure, lethal ice. Who had access to her plate? Your Majesty, who had access. Elara swallows. The kitchen staff prepared it. The servers brought it out. But anyone at the table could have tampered with it when plates were being passed. And anyone in the kitchen could have added poison before it left. So we suspect everyone. Demon's hands curl into fists. Perfect. A sound escapes me. Not quite a laugh, not quite a sob. This is insane. I survived being sold by my father just to be poisoned by someone who doesn't even know me. Demon moves to me then, kneels so we're eye level. Up close, I can see the exhaustion etched in every line of his face. The pain he hides so well. I won't let them hurt you, he says, and it sounds like a vow. I'll find who did this, and they will suffer. And then what? Someone else tries? Someone else decides I'm too dangerous to live? I'm trembling now, rage and fear warring in my chest. How many attempts do I survive before one succeeds? He doesn't answer, because we both know the truth. In this viper's nest of a court, I'll never be safe. Not unless the bond forms. Not unless I become something more than a purchased Omega. Not unless I become his mate. There's another option, Demon says slowly. One I didn't want to use unless absolutely necessary. What option? A partial bond. Not a full mate bond. That still has to form naturally. But a linking of life forces. What hurts you hurts me. What heals you heals me. It won't break the curse, but it will keep you alive. Anyone who tries to poison you will poison me as well, and no one is stupid enough to kill their king. He pauses. It's dangerous, painful, and it will tie us together in ways that can't be undone. I stare at him. You'd do that? Risk yourself to keep me safe? I'd do worse to break this curse. His eyes search mine. But that's not why I'm offering. I'm offering because in 3 days, you've shown more courage than most wolves show in a lifetime. Because you challenged Marcus at dinner and made Lyanna almost smile. Because you're not who I expected, and I... He stops, seeming to struggle with words. I don't want to see you die. Simple as that. It's the most honest thing he's said to me. And maybe it's the poison scare. Maybe it's exhaustion. Maybe it's those visions showing me the male beneath the crown. But I believe him. How does it work? I ask. Elara steps forward. It's old magic, blood magic. You both cut your palms, join hands, and speak the words of binding. Once done, your life forces will be linked. You'll feel each other's pain, sense each other's emotions. If one of you is injured, the other will bear some of the wound. It's not a mate bond, but it's close, and it can't be broken except by death. So, if he dies from the curse, I trail off. The partial bond won't save me, Demon confirms, but it will protect you while we figure out the rest, while we see if a real bond can form. I should say no, should refuse to tie myself to a dying king, to a male who bought me at auction. But the alternative is waiting for the next assassination attempt, hoping Demon's instincts are fast enough, trusting that I'll see the knife before it strikes. I'm tired of being helpless, tired of being a victim. Do it, I say. Demon's eyes widen slightly. Are you certain? No, but I'm certain I don't want to die by poison at dinner. So let's do this before I change my mind. He stands, helps me to my feet. Alara produces a small knife from her bag, its blade gleaming in the candlelight. This will hurt, she warns. The binding itself is agony, like fire in your veins, but it only lasts a few minutes. I've survived worse, I lie. Demon takes the knife first. Without hesitation, he draws it across his palm. Blood wells, dark and red. He hands the knife to me. I stare at it, at my palm, at the choice I'm making. Then I cut. The pain is sharp, immediate. Blood pools in my cupped hand. Demon reaches out, and I take his hand in mine. Our wounds press together, blood mingling. Repeat after me, Alara says, and begins speaking in a language I don't recognize. Ancient words that taste like copper and smoke. Demon repeats them flawlessly. I stumble through, getting the pronunciation wrong, but Alara nods encouragement. The words build, growing in power and intensity. The air crackles. Then the fire hits. I gasp, knees buckling. Demon catches me with his free hand, holding me upright even as I feel his own pain spike through the connection. It's like lightning in my blood, burning every nerve. I want to scream, want to let go, but Demon's hand is locked around mine. Stay with me, he grits out. Almost done. The fire builds to a crescendo, then stops. We both sag. Demon releases my hand and I see our wounds have closed, leaving matching silver scars across our palms. But that's not what makes me stagger. It's the presence in my head. Demon's presence. Not his thoughts, I can't read those, but his emotions, his determination, his pain. Oh gods, his pain. The curse is a living thing inside him, eating away at his life force. I can feel it now, a constant ache that never stops. How has he been functioning with this? I'm used to it, he says, and I realize he can feel me too. Feel my shock, my horror, my sudden understanding of just how much he's been hiding. This is... I can't find words. Intimate, he finishes. Yes, I'm sorry. I should have explained better what you were agreeing to. No, I straighten, meeting his eyes. This is what I needed to understand. Why you're so desperate. Why you'd pay $200,000 for a stranger. I touch my chest, feel his pain echoing there alongside my own heartbeat. You're dying by inches, and you've been doing it alone. Something cracks in his expression. Vulnerability, raw and real. Before he can respond, the doors burst open. Marcus storms in, guards behind him. Your Majesty, we found something. He holds up a vial, its contents dark. In the kitchen, hidden behind the spice rack, more nightshade and bellaroot, and we have a suspect. Who? Demon's voice is deadly calm. One of the servers. He's run, but we'll find him. We've locked down the keep. He won't get far. Bring him to me alive, Demon commands. I want to know who hired him. Marcus bows and leaves. Demon turns to me, and through the bond I feel his rage. It's volcanic, barely contained. He wants to tear apart everyone who had access to my food, wants blood and screaming and justice delivered in the most brutal way possible. Don't, I say quietly. Don't what? Don't become the monster they think you are. I step closer. Find who did this, yes, punish them. But don't let rage make you sloppy. Don't give your enemies ammunition to use against you. He stares at me for a long moment. Then, through the bond, I feel his rage bank. Still there, still burning, but controlled. When did you become so wise? He asks. When I realized I was tied to an idiot who might get himself killed trying to avenge me. Alara laughs, quickly stifled. Demon's mouth twitches again, that almost smile that's becoming familiar. Rest, he says. I'll have guards posted at your door. No one gets in without my permission. Where will you be? Hunting. The word is cold promise. Someone tried to kill what's mine. They'll learn that was a mistake. What's mine? The words echo through the bond, weighted with possession and protection in equal measure. I should object. Should remind him I'm not his property. But standing there with his pain in my chest and his determination flowing through me, I don't. Maybe I am his. Maybe he's mine too, in ways neither of us planned. Maybe that's what will save us both. Or damn us. They find the server 3 hours later, hiding in the wine cellar. I'm in my quarters when the bond suddenly flares with demon's fury. It's so intense I double over, gasping. Through the connection I feel him fight for control. Feel him want to kill the man slowly. Feel him remember my words about not becoming a monster. When the sensation fades, I'm left shaking. Alara, who stayed with me per demon's orders, helps me to a chair. The bond is still settling, she says. His emotions will be overwhelming until you learn to shield yourself. It takes time. Does he feel mine too? Yes, though I suspect his are louder. The curse amplifies everything. I think about that. About Demon walking around with this constant pain and rage and desperation. About him having to rule, to lead, to make impossible decisions while being eaten alive from the inside. Alara, I say carefully. The Omega who nearly died. What happened? Her hand still on the teacup she was preparing. Her name was Mira, sweet girl, genuinely wanted to help. But when they tried to form the bond, she trails off, shaking her head. The curse rejected her, violently. She started bleeding from her eyes, her nose, screaming. Demon broke the connection before it killed her, but she was never the same. Last I heard, she's in a healing house in the south, still recovering. Why did it reject her? We don't know. The curse is specific. It needs someone pure-hearted, unclaimed, and... She stops. And what? And descended from the bloodline that cast it. That's what the old stories say anyway. It would make a sick sort of sense. Only someone from the witch's own line could undo what she did. But we've never been able to verify it. The witch's name was lost to history. So was her bloodline. My blood runs cold. Lost to history how? Demon's great-grandfather supposedly hunted down all of her descendants, killed them. He thought if he destroyed her line, the curse would break. Alara's expression is grim. It didn't. And now... She looks at me. Now we're desperate enough to try anything. Before I can process this, the door opens. Demon enters, blood on his knuckles, his eyes still burning with barely suppressed rage. Through the bond, I feel it. The violence he wants to unleash. The control he's forcing on himself. The server talked, he says without preamble. He was paid by someone to add the poison. He didn't see their face. They wore a hood. But they paid in gold coins from the northern territories. The Alliance, I breathe. That's what I thought too, except the coins were old, decades old. From before the Alliance even formed. He crosses to the window, stares out at the night. Someone wants you dead badly enough to use old currency that can't be traced. Someone smart, patient, someone in this keep. Could be anyone. Could be, but I'll find them. He finally turns to face me. How are you feeling? The bond is overwhelming, I admit. But I'm managing. How are you feeling? He blinks, surprised by the question. Through the bond, I feel his genuine confusion, like no one has asked him that in years. Tired, he says finally. Angry. But... He pauses. Less alone. The bond goes both ways. I can feel your strength, your determination. It helps. We stand there, connected by blood and magic and necessity. Not mates, not lovers, but not strangers anymore either. There's something else, Demon says. Something you should know. An old seer lives in the mountains above the keep. She's been here since my great-grandfather's time. I've sent for her. She arrives tomorrow. Why? Because she's the one who told me about the prophecy, about the Omega of Ash and Moonlight, and because she might know more about the curse than anyone alive. His expression is unreadable. I need answers. We both do. I nod, too exhausted to argue. Ilara leaves, promising to return in the morning. Demon lingers at the door. Sleep well, he says. And Sarah, thank you, for the bond, for trusting me enough to do it. I didn't have much choice. You always have a choice. You chose to stay, to try. That's more than I deserve. Then he's gone, leaving me alone with his pain echoing in my chest, and his gratitude warming something I didn't realize was cold. I crawl into bed, expecting nightmares, expecting more visions of his past. Instead, I dream of a cottage in the woods, of a woman with silver hair and eyes like storm clouds, of her hands weaving magic, speaking words of power, cursing a bloodline for crimes against her family. I dream of watching that cottage burn, of soldiers with the blackthorn crest, of screams. I dream of running, of hiding, of changing my name, of surviving. When I wake, dawn is breaking, and I know with absolute certainty that Ilara was right. The curse can only be broken by someone from the witch's bloodline, and I know with terror that steals my breath exactly who I am. I am Sarah, daughter of a gambling addict who sold me to pay his debts, granddaughter of a woman who fled south to escape persecution, great-great-granddaughter of a witch who was wronged by the Blackthorn family and cursed them in revenge. I am the answer to the prophecy, and I am the last living descendant of Demon's family's greatest enemy. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting impactful daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 4. The seer arrives at dawn. I'm standing at my window watching the sun paint the valley gold when I feel Demon's presence through the bond. Not physically near, he's somewhere else in the keep, but alert, focused, waiting. I dress quickly in dark trousers and a simple tunic. The fine dresses in my wardrobe feel wrong today. Today feels like a day for armor, not silk. When I open my door, 2 guards snap to attention. They've been there all night per Demon's orders. I recognize one from dinner, older, with gray streaking his beard. His Majesty requests your presence in the throne room, miss, he says respectfully. Not Omega, not the girl. Miss. It's a small thing, but it matters. I follow them through corridors I'm starting to recognize, past the great hall where I was nearly poisoned, past Marcus's quarters. I feel his suspicious gaze tracking me through a cracked door, past Lyanna's rooms, where music plays softly. She's always up early, training or reading or plotting. I'm not sure which. The throne room is at the heart of the keep. Massive double doors open into a space designed to intimidate. Vaulted ceilings, stone columns. And at the far end, on a dais of black marble, sits the Blackthorn throne. Demon stands beside it, not sitting. He's dressed for court in black leather and silver fastenings, his hair pulled back to reveal the sharp planes of his face. But through the bond, I feel his exhaustion. The curse took more from him last night. He's fading faster. Beside him stands a woman so ancient she seems carved from time itself. Her hair is white as snow, her face a map of wrinkles. But her eyes, pale amber, almost gold, are sharp and knowing. She leans on a gnarled walking stick, but I don't think she needs it. There's power in her stillness. Sarah. Demon's voice is formal, but through the bond, I feel his relief at seeing me. This is Moira. She's been advisor to the Blackthorn line for 3 generations. The seer's eyes fix on me. I feel stripped bare under that gaze, like she's reading every secret I just discovered about myself. So, she says, her voice surprisingly strong, the last daughter comes home. My stomach drops. You know. I know many things, child. I know you dreamed of fire and blood last night. I know you woke with the truth burning in your chest. She hobbles closer, each step deliberate. I know who you are. The question is, do you? I'm descended from the witch who cursed the Blackthorn line. The words taste like ash. My great-great-grandmother. She's why I can break the curse. Why the prophecy led Demon to me. Demon goes perfectly still. Through the bond, I feel his shock, his confusion, his desperate hope warring with disbelief. Is this true? He asks Moira. As true as the sun rising. The seer stops in front of me, reaches up to touch my face. Her fingers are dry, cool. Your great-great-grandmother was Elara Moonwhisper. Yes, child, the same name as our healer. Not a coincidence. Our Elara was named for her, in secret defiance of the Blackthorn Purge. Elara Moonwhisper was a powerful witch, devoted to her family, content in her small corner of the realm, until Demon's great-grandfather decided her land was needed for expansion. When she refused to sell, he took it by force, killed her husband, her children, left her with nothing. I can't breathe. The dream comes back in vivid flashes. Soldiers with the Blackthorn crest, fire consuming everything, screams. She cursed the Blackthorn line with her dying breath, Moira continues. Every firstborn son would die before his 35th year, suffering as she suffered, losing everything as she lost everything. The curse could only be broken by one of her own blood, and only if that descendant chose love over vengeance. The seer's eyes bore into mine. So tell me, Sarah Moonwhisper's daughter, what will you choose? The name hits me like a blow. Moonwhisper, my real name, buried under generations of hiding and fear. I didn't know, I whisper. My family never told me. They were protecting you. The Blackthorn Purge was thorough. Your grandfather fled south, changed his name to Ashwood, married into a new pack. Your father knew nothing of his heritage. It was deliberately hidden. But blood calls to blood. The curse recognized you the moment you entered this keep. Demon moves then, descending from the dais. He stops a few feet away, and I can feel his emotions roiling through the bond. Anger at his ancestors' crimes. Hope that I might be the answer. Fear that I'll choose vengeance. Say something, he says roughly. What do you want me to say? That I forgive your great-grandfather for murdering my family? That I'm happy to break a curse cast in righteous fury? My voice rises. My great-great-grandmother watched her children burn, Demon. She died alone and broken. And you want me to, what? Decide that doesn't matter? I want you to decide I'm not my great-grandfather. His eyes blaze. I want you to see me, not my bloodline. I want... He stops, jaw clenching. I want a chance to be more than my ancestors' sins. The raw honesty in his voice, in the bond, threatens to break me. I need air, I manage. I need to think. I turn to leave, but Moira's voice stops me. You don't have time to think, child. The choice is coming faster than you know. And when it arrives, you'll have to decide. Do you save the man or destroy the bloodline? I flee before either of them can say more. I end up in the gardens. Not the formal ones near the Great Hall, but the wild ones at the keep's eastern edge. They're overgrown, clearly neglected, but there's a peace here. A reminder that life persists even in the shadow of death. I'm sitting on a stone bench, trying to make sense of everything, when I feel him approach. Not Demon. The bond is quiet, giving me space. Someone else. Marcus rounds a hedge, surprise flickering across his face when he sees me. Hiding? He asks. Thinking. Dangerous pastime. But he sits beside me, which is unexpected. For a moment, we're both quiet. Then, I owe you an apology. I turn to stare at him. What? For dismissing you. For assuming you were another desperate Omega trying to manipulate a dying king. He looks at his hands. Elara told me about your bloodline, about the curse, and I realized you're not here by choice any more than Demon is. That's a strange apology. I'm not good at them. His mouth quirks. But I am good at reading people. And I've watched Demon for 3 years, watched him search for someone who could break this curse. He's tried everything, Brought in Omega after Omega, each one a disappointment. But you, he pauses. You're different. He feels differently with you. I can see it in how he looks at you. How he breathes easier when you're near, even though the curse is killing him faster now. Why is it killing him faster? Marcus's expression darkens. Because he formed a partial bond with you. It's accelerating the curse's timeline. Moira warned him, but he did it anyway, to protect you. My chest tightens. Through the bond, I suddenly understand what I've been feeling from Demon. Not just the curse's constant ache, but its increased urgency. Its hunger. How long does he have? I whisper. Weeks, maybe less. Marcus stands. So whatever you're going to decide about that curse, I suggest you decide fast, because... A commotion erupts from the courtyard, shouting, the clash of steel. Marcus and I run. We burst into the courtyard to find it filled with wolves. Not Demon's guards, these are unfamiliar, wearing colors I don't recognize. Dark green and silver. At their head stands an alpha who makes my blood turn to ice. Craven, the scarred alpha from the auction, the one who would have bought me if Demon hadn't intervened. No, not Craven. I look closer and realize this alpha is younger, less damaged, but the resemblance is clear. Brothers, maybe. Where is the king? He roars. I demand an audience. Demon appears on the steps, flanked by his guards. Lyanna is at his side, her hand on her sword. Through the bond, I feel his instant recognition, his sudden, terrible understanding. Thorn Ashcroft, Demon says, his voice carrying. You dare come to my keep with armed men? I come to claim what's mine by law. Thorn, so this is the brother, pulls a document from his coat. I have a contract, signed and witnessed, proving that Sarah Ashwood was promised to me 3 years ago. Her father sold her to me for protection and gold. I've been patient, waiting for her to mature. But then he sold her again, to that illegal auction. Double dealing. Thorn's eyes scan the courtyard until they find me. There she is, my property. The word property sends rage flooding through me. But it's nothing compared to what I feel from Demon through the bond. He wants to tear Thorn apart. She's not yours, Demon says, his voice deadly calm. I purchased her fairly. From an auction that had no legal right to sell her. She was already mine. Thorn waves the document. I have witnesses, I have signatures, I have wolf law on my side. Return her, or I'll take this to the Council of Alphas. Then take it. Demon descends the steps, each movement controlled fury. I'll happily explain to the council why I don't recognize contracts made by gambling addicts who sell their daughters like livestock. Careful, Majesty. Thorn's smile is knife-sharp. The council might agree with you, or they might decide that a king who ignores ancient property laws isn't fit to rule, especially a king who's rumored to be unwell. The courtyard goes silent. Everyone knows what Thorn is implying. That Demon is weak, dying, that this is the perfect moment to challenge him. Get off my land, Demon says softly, before I have you thrown off. I'll leave, but I'll be back with the council, and they will rule in my favor, because the law is clear. Thorn's gaze finds mine again. See you soon, little Omega. We have much to discuss about your duties as my mate. The threat is clear. The promise of violence, of ownership, of breaking me into submission. Thorn and his men leave, their laughter echoing off the stones. The moment they're gone, Demon staggers. Just slightly. But I feel it through the bond, the curse surging, fed by his rage and stress. I'm at his side before I realize I've moved, my hand on his arm. I'm fine, he grits out. You're not. Inside. He straightens, forces strength into his voice. Everyone inside, now. We reconvene in a council chamber. Demon, Marcus, Lyanna, Alara, Moira, and me. The tension is thick enough to cut. He has a legal case, Marcus says grimly. I've seen these contracts before. If Sarah's father signed it, if there are witnesses, the council will honor it. Ancient law supersedes royal decree in matters of property and mate claims. She's not property, Demon snarls. In the eyes of wolf law, an unmated Omega can be. Marcus's expression is apologetic. I don't like it either, but that's the reality. If Thorn takes this to the council, they'll rule against you, Lyanna interrupts. She's leaning against the wall, arms crossed. The council has been looking for a reason to diminish your power. This hands it to them on a silver platter. Defy them, and they'll have grounds to declare you unfit, which means civil war. So my choices are to give up Sarah or start a war. Demon's laugh is bitter. Perfect. There's a third option, Moira says quietly. Trial by combat. It's old law, rarely invoked, but in cases of disputed claims, an alpha can challenge for the right. If Thorn agrees to trial by combat and Demon wins, Sarah is his by conquest. The council cannot dispute it. Through the bond, I feel Demon's immediate rejection of this idea. Not because he fears combat, but because he knows the curse makes him vulnerable. A fight to the death when he's dying anyway is suicide. No, I say, absolutely not. It's the only way, Lyanna says, and there's something in her tone, something satisfied. Unless, of course, you complete the mate bond first. If Sarah and Demon are fully bonded before the combat, it strengthens him, might even slow the curse enough for him to win. Everyone looks at me. Complete the bond, I repeat slowly. You mean? A full mating, Elara says gently. Not just the partial bond you have now, the claiming bite, the soul connection. It would make you true mates. And if I do that, and he dies in combat? My voice rises. If the curse takes him, or Thorn kills him, what happens to me? The bond would try to take you too, Moira says bluntly. That's the risk. Mates who lose each other often follow into death. Not always, but often enough. So my choices are, let Demon fight while dying and probably lose, or bond with him fully and risk dying myself if he falls. Some choice. There's time to decide, Demon says, but through the bond, I feel his lie. There's no time. Thorn will push for the council meeting immediately. The combat will happen within days. I need to speak with Sarah, Demon continues. Alone. They file out, all except Lyanna, who lingers at the door. A word, brother? She says sweetly. Later. Now. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. It won't take long. Demon sighs but nods to me. I'll find you shortly. I leave, but something makes me pause just outside the door. Some instinct. Through the bond I feel Demon's wariness, his sudden tension. I press myself against the wall and listen. You're going to get yourself killed, Lyanna says. Your concern is touching. I'm not concerned, I'm practical. A pause. You're dying, Demon, with or without this combat. Why drag it out? Why risk civil war over one Omega? Because she can break the curse. Can she? We've heard that before. How many Omegas have failed? How many have you pinned your hopes on only to be disappointed? Lyanna's voice drops. Let her go. Give her to Thorn. Appoint me as heir. Die peacefully, knowing the realm will be in capable hands. Your hands, you mean. Better mine than chaos. Better mine than watching you throw everything away for a fantasy of salvation that will never come. Through the bond, I feel Demon's anger spike. Then, worse, I feel his suspicion. You want me dead, he says slowly. You've wanted it for a while now. Don't be dramatic. The poison. That was you, wasn't it? You tried to kill Sarah because you knew she might actually break the curse. You'd rather see me die than lose your chance at the throne. Silence. Long, damning silence. Prove it, Lyanna finally says. I don't have to prove it. I know my sister. I know how you think. How you've always resented that I was born first, that father chose me. His voice is sad more than angry. You used to be better than this, Lyanna. You used to have honor. Honor doesn't keep you alive. Power does. The sound of footsteps. Choose the combat, brother. Fight Thorn. Die on your feet if you must, but don't expect me to mourn you. The door opens. Lyanna emerges, sees me standing there and smiles. Eavesdropping? She asks pleasantly. How very Omega of you. You poisoned me. Did I? She tilts her head. Can you prove it? Can anyone? The server is dead, killed himself in his cell last night, very tragic. And without proof. She leans close, her breath warm on my face. You're nothing but a purchased Omega with delusions of importance. My brother will die. You'll go to Thorn. And I'll finally rule the way this keep needs to be ruled. With strength, not sentiment. She walks away, leaving me shaking with rage and fear. When I enter the council chamber, Demon is standing at the window, his back to me. Through the bond, I feel his devastation. His sister's betrayal cuts deeper than any curse. I heard, I say quietly. I know. He doesn't turn. I felt your anger through the bond. I cross to him, stand at his side. Outside, the valley stretches into shadow. Storm clouds gather on the horizon. Trial by combat, I say. When? Thorn will demand it within 3 days. That's tradition. And the curse? How much will it weaken you? Enough. His reflection in the glass looks haunted. I might win anyway. I'm still the Alpha King, still trained, still strong enough maybe. But you don't believe that. No. Finally, he faces me. I don't. Which is why I'm not going to ask you to complete the bond. I won't risk your life for mine. What if I want to? His eyes widen. Sarah. I'm not saying I've decided. I'm saying, what if? I take a breath. You told me I always have a choice. So give me the information I need to make it. What happens if we complete the bond? Exactly? He studies me for a long moment. Then, slowly, he begins to explain. The mate bond is ancient magic. Older than curses, older than pacts. When two wolves bond completely, their souls recognize each other, complete each other. The claiming bite seals it. I'd mark you here. He touches the side of my neck, just above my shoulder. And you'd mark me. The bond would snap into place. We'd feel each other's emotions more clearly, share strength, share pain. And if the curse is broken, then we'd have a normal mate bond. Strong, permanent, but safe. We'd be partners in every sense. And if the curse isn't broken, if you die in combat? His jaw tightens. Then the bond would try to take you with me. It doesn't always work. Some mates survive. But many don't. Their wolves can't bear the separation. They simply fade. I close my eyes, absorbing this. So I'm betting my life that I can break a curse cast by my own ancestor. A curse designed to destroy your family. And I have to believe that love can overcome vengeance, even though I barely know you. Yes. His voice is rough. Which is why I'm not asking you to do it. Go to Thorn if you must. Live. That's more important than don't. I open my eyes, meet his gaze. Don't you dare tell me to go to that monster. Don't pretend you're being noble when we both know Thorn will break me, use me, probably kill me once he's bored. At least you'd have a chance. I don't want a chance with him. I stop, shocked by what I'm about to say. By what I've realized over these past few days of being bound to this male. I want to try, with you, not because of the curse, not because of the prophecy, but because when I feel your emotions through this bond, I feel someone trying desperately to be good despite impossible circumstances. I feel someone who cares more about his people than himself. I feel someone worth saving. His hand comes up slowly, cups my face. You barely know me. I know enough. I've seen your memories, felt your pain, and I've made my choice. I cover his hand with mine. I'm going to break the curse. I'm going to help you win that combat. And then... I pause. Then we'll figure out the rest. You're insane, he whispers. Probably. I lean into his touch. But I'm also a moon whisper, and we don't run from our destinies. We face them. For the first time since I met him, Demon smiles. Really smiles. It transforms his face, makes him look younger, less burdened. When? He asks. Tonight. Before I lose my nerve. Before Thorn returns with the council. Before the curse takes more of him. We complete the bond tonight. Through our connection, I feel his hope flare bright and desperate. And underneath it, just barely, I feel his fear. Because he knows what I haven't admitted yet. I'm not just risking my life to save his. I'm risking my heart on a male I'm not sure I can truly forgive. A male whose family destroyed mine. And the curse will know if I'm lying. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting impactful daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 5. Night Falls on Blackthorn. Keep like a curtain dropping on the final act. I stand in my chambers, dressed in simple white, the traditional color for mate bonding ceremonies. Alara helped me prepare, her hands gentle as she braided my hair with silver ribbons. She didn't say much, didn't need to. Through the partial bond, I can feel Demon in his own chambers, his emotions a storm of hope and fear and desperate longing. Tomorrow he fights Thorn. Tomorrow everything changes. But tonight is ours. A knock sounds at my door. My heart jumps, but it's not Demon, not yet. Moira enters, leaning on her gnarled staff, her amber eyes bright in the candlelight. I came to give you something, she says, crossing to me. From her robes, she pulls a small vial filled with shimmering liquid that seems to hold moonlight. This was your great-great-grandmother's, the last potion she ever made. She gave it to a friend before she died, told her to keep it safe, that one day one of her blood would need it. I take the vial, feel its warmth against my palm. What is it? Truth serum? Moira's smile is enigmatic. Power catalyst? Love potion? Maybe all three. Maybe none. Alara Moonwhisper was cryptic in her final days, but she said this. When my daughter's daughter's daughter stands before the Wolf King, give her this. Tell her that vengeance is empty, but love is eternal. Tell her to choose wisely. My throat tightens. She knew. Even then, she knew this moment would come. Witches have a way of seeing the threads of fate. She cursed the Blackthorns, yes. But she also left a path to redemption. Because that's what real power is. Not destruction, but choice. Moira presses the vial into my hand. Drink this before the bond completes. It will awaken what sleeps in your blood. What you do with that power, that's up to you. She leaves before I can ask more questions. I stare at the vial. The liquid inside swirls like captured starlight. My great-great-grandmother's last gift. A choice offered across generations. Vengeance or love. Destruction or salvation. I uncork it, bring it to my lips, and drink. The taste is wild honey and winter frost. Sweet and sharp at once. It burns down my throat, spreads through my chest, sinks into my bones. For a moment nothing happens. Then the world explodes into color. I gasp, staggering. My wolf surges forward, stronger than she's ever been, and with her comes everything. Memories that aren't mine. Power that's been sleeping in my blood for generations. Knowledge of herbs and magic, of curses and blessings, of the old ways that wolves have forgotten. I am Sarah Ashwood. I am Sarah Moonwhisper. I am Omega and Witch, Wolf and Woman, descendant of power and pain. And I am awake. The door opens. Demon stands in the threshold, and the sight of him steals my breath. He's dressed in ceremonial leathers, black and silver, his hair loose around his face. But it's his eyes that hold me. Ice blue and burning with an intensity that makes my knees weak. Through the bond, I feel his awe, his desire, his terror that this might not work. Sarah. My name is a prayer on his lips. You're glowing. I look down at my hands. He's right. A faint silver light emanates from my skin, pulsing in time with my heartbeat. The potion is working, awakening what's been dormant all along. I drank something, I say. From Moira, from my ancestor. I feel different. Different how? He crosses to me slowly, like I'm something precious that might shatter. Powerful. The word surprises me. I've never felt powerful. Never felt like anything but an Omega at the mercy of stronger wolves. But now, I can feel it in my blood. Magic, old magic. And I can feel the curse, demon, in you, through the bond. It's like a chain wrapped around your heart, squeezing tighter every day. His hand finds mine. Our matching scars press together, and I feel the partial bond flare between us. Can you break it? I don't know. Honesty seems important tonight. But I'm going to try, because I meet his eyes. Because I choose to. Not because I was sold or bought or prophesied, but because I choose you. Something raw and vulnerable crosses his face. Why? You really need to ask? Yes. He cups my face, his touch gentle despite the strength in his hands. Because I need to hear it. I need to know this is real, that you're not just doing this because you feel trapped. Through the bond, I feel his deepest fear. That I'll go through with this out of obligation, that the bond will fail because my heart isn't truly in it, that he'll die knowing he forced another Omega into a fate she didn't want. Listen to me, I say fiercely. I spent my whole life being what others wanted. A good daughter, a dutiful Omega, someone small and manageable. And where did it get me? Sold at auction, nearly poisoned, claimed by men who saw me as property. I press my hand over his heart, feel it beating strong and steady despite the curse eating him alive. You're the first person who asked what I wanted, who gave me choices even when it cost you, who let me be angry, be strong, be me. So yes, I choose this. I choose you. Not because I have to, but because I want to. Sarah, his voice breaks. I'm not finished. I rise on my toes, bring my mouth close to his. I choose you because you're infuriating and noble, and so desperate to be good despite carrying your ancestors' sins. I choose you because you looked at me on that auction platform and saw someone worth saving. I choose you because... I pause, let the truth spill out. Because I'm falling in love with you. Maybe I already have. And I'm not letting some ancient curse steal what we could have together. For a heartbeat, he's perfectly still. Then he's kissing me. It's not gentle, not careful. It's hunger and relief and desperation and hope all tangled together. His hands slide into my hair, tilting my head back as he deepens the kiss. I open for him, taste his need, feel his emotions crash through the bond like a tidal wave. Love. He loves me too. The feeling is so strong it nearly buckles my knees. When we break apart, both breathing hard, his forehead rests against mine. I don't deserve you, he whispers. Probably not. I smile against his mouth. But you're stuck with me anyway. He laughs, and it's the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. Then his expression sobers. Are you certain? Once we complete this bond, there's no going back. If something happens tomorrow, then we face it together. I step back, begin unlacing my dress. No more doubts, no more fear. Tonight, we choose each other. His eyes darken as the white fabric slides from my shoulders, pools at my feet. I stand before him wearing nothing but moonlight and determination. You're sure? He asks one last time. I've never been more sure of anything. That's all the permission he needs. He crosses the space between us, lifts me into his arms, carries me to the bed. The furs are soft beneath my back as he lays me down, his body covering mine. For a moment he just looks at me, his expression full of wonder. Beautiful, he murmurs. So damn beautiful. Then he's kissing me again, his mouth trailing down my throat to where the mate mark will go. His teeth scrape the sensitive skin there, and I gasp, arching into him. Through the bond, I feel his barely controlled restraint, his need warring with his desire to make this good for me. "Stop holding back," I tell him. "I won't break." His laugh is dark. "You might be the strongest person I've ever met." He proves it over the next hour. His hands map every inch of my skin, learning what makes me gasp, what makes me moan. When he finally claims me, it's with a gentleness that makes my chest ache, like I'm precious, like I'm chosen. We move together, building toward something that feels bigger than just physical pleasure. The partial bond between us flares brighter with each touch, each kiss, pulling us closer together. "Now," I breathe against his throat. "Mark me now." He positions himself at the perfect spot, where my neck meets my shoulder, and I feel his canines lengthen. Through the bond, I feel his wolf rising, recognizing mine as mate. "I love you," he says. "My queen, my salvation, my Sarah." Then he bites. The pain is sharp and immediate, but it transforms almost instantly into something else. Pleasure, yes, but more than that, connection. The partial bond shatters and reforms, stronger, deeper, complete. I can feel everything he feels, his love, his relief, his soul recognizing mine as the missing piece he's been searching for. And through him, I feel the curse. It's wrapped around his heart like Moira said, but now I can see it clearly. Dark magic, old and angry, feeding on his life force. It's killing him, has been killing him for years, and without intervention, it will finish the job within days. But I am Moonwhisper blood. I am the descendant of the witch who cast this curse, and I can unmake what my ancestor made. I bite him back, my omega canine sinking into his shoulder, and the bond explodes into light. Power floods through me, not just mine but his, the mate bond amplifying what we each bring. I am Omega, yes, but I'm also something more, something the realm hasn't seen in generations. An Omega sovereign, the perfect balance to an Alpha King's strength. Through the bond, I reach for the curse. It fights me, recognizing Blackthorn blood, trying to squeeze tighter. But I'm not just reaching with Wolf, I'm reaching with magic, with the power sleeping in my veins, with the love burning in my chest. Let him go, I command the curse. This bloodline has suffered enough. This male has suffered enough. And I, blood of the witch who made you, unmake you now. The curse snarls, resists. It wants vengeance, wants blood. So I give it truth instead. Ilara Moonwhisper, I say aloud, my voice echoing with power. I am your great-great-granddaughter. I carry your blood, your magic, your pain. I know what was taken from you. I know what you lost. And I tell you now, vengeance is empty. It won't bring back your family. It won't heal your wounds. But love. My hand finds Demon's face. Feel his tears on my fingers. Love can break any curse. Love can choose forgiveness over fury. Love can build instead of destroy. The curse wavers. I love him, I continue. I love this male who carries the guilt of his ancestors' crimes. I love this king who tried so desperately to fix what was broken. I love this wolf who saw me as more than an omega, more than property, more than a means to an end. I lean down, press my forehead to Demon's as silver light pours from my skin, from my hands, from my heart. And because I love him, I break you. Not with vengeance, with forgiveness, with choice, with the one thing my ancestor never had the chance to give. The curse screams, then shatters. The darkness wrapped around Demon's heart dissolves like smoke in sunlight. I feel the moment it releases him, feel his life force surge back, strong and clear and whole. The bond between us solidifies, permanent and unbreakable, and through it I feel his wonder, his joy, his overwhelming love. We collapse together, gasping, tangled in furs and each other. The silver light fades, but I can still feel the power humming in my veins. Changed, Awakened. Mine. You did it, Demon breathes. You actually did it. I touch his chest, feel his heart beating strong and steady. No more curse, no more death sentence, just a male and his mate, bound together by choice and magic and love. We did it, I correct. Together. He kisses me then, deep and thorough and full of promise. When we break apart, he's smiling, really smiling, and it transforms his face into something breathtaking. My queen, he murmurs. My Sarah, my everything. I curl against his chest, exhausted but exhilarated. Tomorrow, you fight Thorn. Tomorrow, I destroy him. There's no doubt in his voice now, no fear. The curse is broken, his strength restored. And then I'm going to crown you before the entire realm. Show them that the Alpha King has found his equal. Your court will hate that. My court will learn to deal with it. His arms tighten around me. You're an Omega sovereign, Sarah. Do you understand what that means? Not really. It means you're as powerful as I am, in different ways. Where I command through strength, you'll command through magic. Where I lead through dominance, you'll lead through wisdom. Together. He trails off, wonder in his voice. Together, we'll be unstoppable. I think about Lyanna, about her poisoning me, about her betrayal, about Thorn and his claim, about all the wolves who see Omegas as lesser, as property, as things to be bought and sold. Good, I say fiercely, because I have some changes to make. Demon laughs, the sound rich and warm. I don't doubt it, but first, let me enjoy having my mate in my arms, my alive, healthy, incredibly powerful mate who just broke a century-old curse. We lie together as moonlight streams through the windows. Tomorrow will bring combat and confrontation. Tomorrow will test everything we've built. But tonight, wrapped in each other, the bond singing between us, we're simply two wolves who chose each other. And that, I'm learning, is the strongest magic of all. Dawn breaks cold and clear. I wake wrapped in Demon's arms, the mate bond humming contentedly between us. For a moment I simply lie there, feeling his steady heartbeat against my back, marveling at how different everything feels. He's warm, healthy. The curse is truly gone, and in its absence he seems lighter somehow. Younger. Morning, he murmurs against my hair. Morning. I turn in his arms. How do you feel? Like I could fight an army. He demonstrates by rolling me beneath him, his eyes sparking with mischief. Want to help me work off some of this energy? I laugh, shoving at his chest. You have an actual fight in a few hours. Save your strength. Fine. But he steals another kiss before releasing me. Though for the record, I have plenty of strength now, thanks to you. We dress together, him in fighting leathers, me in deep crimson that Alara brought while we slept. The color of queens, she'd said, the color of power. When we emerge from his chambers, our chambers now, I suppose, guards snap to attention. Marcus waits at the end of the corridor, and the relief on his face when he sees Demon is palpable. Your Majesty. His eyes flick to me, and I see new respect there, new understanding. The council has arrived. Thorn demands the combat begin within the hour. Let him demand. Demon's voice is steel. We'll begin when I'm ready. We descend to the Great Hall, where the Council of Alphas has assembled. 12 ancient wolves, each representing a major pack, sit in judgment. At their center stands Thorn, already dressed for combat, his scarred face twisted in anticipation. When he sees me at Demon's side, wearing the mate mark fresh on my throat, his expression darkens. You bonded her, he snarls. You had no right. I had every right, Demon's voice carries through the hall. She chose me, of her own free will. Your contract is void. The bond doesn't negate the contract, one of the council members says, an elderly female with steel-gray hair. Wolf law is clear. The combat will proceed. If you win, she's yours by conquest. If you lose, the bond won't matter. She'll be widowed and returned to Alpha Thorn per the original agreement. My stomach churns. Even now, even after everything, they still see me as property to be distributed. Unless, another council member adds, Alpha Thorn wishes to withdraw his claim. Never. Thorn's smile is vicious. I'm going to enjoy killing you, Blackthorn. And then I'm going to enjoy breaking your mate, teaching her what it means to belong to a real alpha. Through the bond, I feel Demon's rage spike. His wolf wants blood. But I place my hand on his arm, steady him. Don't let him bait you. He wants you angry and sloppy. Demon takes a breath, centers himself. When he speaks again, his voice is calm. Trial by combat, then. First blood or to the death? Death. Thorn doesn't hesitate. I want your crown and your mate, and I'll take both over your corpse. So be it. They're led to the courtyard where a fighting ring has been prepared. The entire court gathers to watch, guards, servants, nobles. Even Lyanna is there, standing off to the side, her expression unreadable. I take my place at the edge of the ring, Marcus beside me. Through the bond, I can feel Demon's focus, his confidence. The curse is gone. He's whole again. He can win this. But Thorn is fresh, unburdened, and fighting dirty is his specialty. The fight begins with a clash of bodies and snarls. They're both in half shift, caught between wolf and man, claws and fangs extended. Thorn is fast, aggressive, going for killing blows immediately. Demon is faster, dancing back, letting Thorn overextend himself. It's brutal, beautiful, terrifying. Thorn lands a hit, claws raking across Demon's ribs. Through the bond, I feel the pain, sharp but manageable. Demon retaliates with a strike that opens Thorn's shoulder. Blood spatters the stones. They circle, both bleeding now, both determined. Then I feel it. A spike of magic that's not mine, not Demon's. Someone is interfering. I scan the crowd and find Lyanna, her hands moving in subtle gestures. She's casting something. A spell to slow Demon, maybe. To give Thorn an advantage. Marcus, I hiss. Lyanna, she's... He sees it too, starts moving toward her. But it's too late. Whatever she's doing takes effect. Demon stumbles just slightly, and Thorn capitalizes, landing a vicious blow that sends Demon to his knees. No. Power surges through me, instinctive and fierce. I don't know what I'm doing, but I reach for the magic in my blood, the power my ancestor gave me, and I push. A shield of silver light erupts around Demon, deflecting Thorn's next attack. The entire courtyard gasps. Sarah? Demon's voice in my head through the bond. What? Lyanna's interfering. I'm stopping her. To prove it, I send a pulse of magic toward his sister. Not to harm, just to disrupt. Her spell fractures, and Demon surges back to his feet, fully restored. Thorn realizes what's happening, roars in fury. She's cheating! She's protecting her mate from your allies cheating, Marcus shouts back, his hand now on Lyanna's arm, restraining her. Continue the fight. The council members confer quickly, then nod. Continue. Demon doesn't need to be told twice. He's on Thorn in a flash, and this time he's not holding back. Blow after blow lands, strategic and devastating. Thorn fights desperately, but he's outmatched. The Alpha King is whole again, and nothing can stop him. Finally, Demon has Thorn on the ground, claws at his throat. Yield, he commands. Thorn's eyes blaze with hate. Never. Then die! Demon applies pressure. Wait, I call out, surprising myself. Through the bond, I feel Demon's confusion. Don't kill him, banish him instead, show mercy. He doesn't deserve mercy, Demon growls. Maybe not, but you're better than the male he expected you to be, better than the monster the realm thinks you are. Prove it. I hold his gaze across the ring. Be the king I know you can be. For a long moment he doesn't move. Then, slowly, he releases Thorn's throat. You're banished, Demon announces. From this keep, from this territory, from this realm. If you return, I'll finish what I started. Now get out of my sight. Thorn staggers to his feet, blood streaming from multiple wounds. This isn't over, Blackthorn. Yes, Demon says quietly. It is. Guards escort Thorn away. Demon turns to where Marcus still holds Lyanna. Bring her here, he commands. They do. Lyanna's face is pale but defiant as she's forced to kneel before her brother. You poisoned Sarah, Demon says. You interfered in trial by combat. You betrayed your own blood. Why? Because you were weak, she spits. Because you wasted years searching for a cure instead of ruling. Because I would have been a better king than you ever were. You would have been a tyrant. Demon's voice is sad. But you're still my sister. So I'm giving you a choice. Swear fealty to me and my mate, publicly and binding, or join Thorn in exile. Lyanna's eyes widen. You're giving me a choice? More than you gave me. More than you gave Sarah. He looks down at her. Choose. I watch through the bond as Lyanna struggles. Pride wars with pragmatism. Finally, she lowers her head. I swear fealty, she says, the words clearly painful. To King Demon Blackthorn and Queen Sarah Moonwhisper, my loyalty, my service, my life. The binding settles over her, magical and unbreakable. She'll be compelled to honor it now. Stripped of rank, Demon continues, you'll serve the keep as a guard, prove yourself loyal, and maybe one day you'll earn back what you've lost. It's harsh but fair. Lyanna seems to recognize this, nodding once before guards lead her away. The Council of Alphas stands as one. The combat is concluded, the gray-haired female announces. Alpha Thorn's claim is forfeit. The Omega Sarah belongs to King Demon by right of conquest. No, Demon's voice rings out. Sarah doesn't belong to anyone but herself. She's not property. She's not a prize. She's my mate, my queen. And she's about to be crowned as such. Stunned silence. Your Majesty, one of the council members says carefully, it's unprecedented to crown an Omega as queen consort. Good thing I'm not crowning her as consort, then. Demon crosses to me, takes my hand. I'm crowning her as queen sovereign, my equal in every way. She broke a century-old curse. She awakened power that will reshape our realm. And she chose me not because she had to, but because she wanted to. He raises my hand, shows the crowd our joined scars. Any wolf who has a problem with that can take it up with me. No one speaks. No one dares. Marcus steps forward, carrying a circlet of silver and black diamonds. It's beautiful, delicate yet strong, perfect. Demon takes it, turns to me. Through the bond, I feel his love, his pride, his absolute certainty that this is right. Sarah Moonwhisper, he says formally, daughter of witches, breaker of curses, my mate and my salvation, will you stand as my queen? Will you help me lead this realm into a future where strength is measured not by dominance, but by choice? Where Omegas are valued, not owned, where power is shared between equals. Tears blur my vision. This is everything I never knew I wanted, everything I never thought I could have. Yes, I whisper. Yes, I will. He places the circlet on my head, then kisses me in front of the entire court. When we break apart, the courtyard erupts, not in protest but in celebration. Guards cheer, servants applaud. Even the council members look grudgingly impressed. My queen, Demon murmurs against my lips, my fierce, powerful, incredible queen. My king, I reply. My stubborn, noble, infuriating king. We turn to face our realm together, no longer king and purchased Omega, but partners, equals, mates. And as the sun rises fully over Blackthorn Keep, I feel the weight of the crown on my head and know that everything has changed. I am Sarah Moonwhisper Blackthorn, queen of the realm. I am Omega and sovereign, wolf and witch, beloved and powerful. I am exactly who I was always meant to be. And this is just the beginning. Epilogue. 6 months later, I stand in the council chamber where I once learned I was descended from the witch who cursed the Blackthorn line. But I'm not that frightened Omega anymore. I'm queen, wearing my crown with confidence, addressing the Council of Alphas about the new laws Demon and I have crafted together. No Omega will be sold, traded, or forced into bonding, I announce, my voice strong. All wolves, regardless of designation, will have the right to choose their mates, to choose their futures. This is not negotiable. The council members shift uncomfortably, but they don't protest. They've learned that while I may be Omega, I'm also sovereign, and my magic reinforces my word with power they can't ignore. Demon stands beside me, his hand on the small of my back, his pride flooding through our bond. Since the curse broke, he's been unstoppable, a king who leads with both strength and compassion, exactly what the realm needs. Together, we've started changing things. One law at a time, one pack at a time. It's slow work, there's resistance. But we're persistent. Because I learned something important over the past 6 months. Real power isn't about dominance. It's about choice, about standing up and saying, "This is who I am and I won't apologize for it." I was sold by my father, bought by a king, nearly poisoned by jealousy, and claimed by a rival. I could have let those things define me, could have accepted my role as property, as victim, as powerless Omega. Instead, I chose to be something more, and in choosing, I became everything I was meant to be. The meeting concludes. The council files out, still grumbling but accepting. Demon and I are left alone in the chamber, and he immediately pulls me into his arms. "You were magnificent," he murmurs. "I learned from the best." I tilt my head back, let him kiss me long and deep. Through the bond, I feel his love, constant and unshakable. "Come to bed," he says. "I have plans for you. Demon, it's barely noon. And I'm the king. I can take a long lunch with my queen if I want." His smile is wicked. "Besides, I recall you mentioning something about wanting to try that thing with the—" I clap my hand over his mouth, laughing. "Not in the council chamber." He kisses my palm, eyes sparkling with mischief. This male who was dying 6 months ago, who carried the weight of a curse and a crown, he's lighter now, happier. We both are. Because we chose each other. Not because of prophecy or curses or necessity, but because love, it turns out, really can break any chain, even the ones we put on ourselves. "Come on, my king," I say, taking his hand. "Let's go be scandalous." "Your Majesty," he corrects, grinning. "We're both majesties now." "Fine, come on." My equally royal pain in the ass. His laughter echoes through the halls of Blackthorn Keep as we make our way to our chambers, the bond between us singing with joy. I am Sarah Moonwhisper Blackthorn, the Omega Queen who was never supposed to be anything more than property. But I chose to be a queen instead. And in the end, that choice changed everything. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, like, and share this video to continue listening to this type of story daily, and also to appreciate this community too. I would like to hear your wonderful opinion about this story. Please comment below.